Hey YouTubers, today we have a very good gas dryer. This is a Whirlpool, we call them Series 80, Series 70, 80 or Series 90 gas dryers. And these are really good. They last a long time to keep running. This one is still running really well. It's just a little bit beat up from years of dirt and even paint being on it. And we today are just gonna rehabilitate this one, renovate it, get it working even better, maybe change a few parts and just clean it up. It's just got some dirt, smudges, and we'll show you the before and after. Pictures. Part of what we'll do is to repaint this top panel with some Appliance type of white paint. So we'll use some of this white rust stop white gloss, and this is from Ace Hardware, but you can get another product called Rust-Oleum, which is also really good. If you just wanted to get the white gloss, would be important. First thing we'll do is we'll clean up this upper panel and maybe do a little bit of light sanding. So we can see there is some probably latex paint on there. We can use a paint scraper, and we just want to be careful we don't scratch it up too much. We're just going to use some light pressure and get that stuff off. And then once we get all the paint off, we'll do a really good job cleaning it. And then we may, again, do a little bit of rough sanding too. The paint scraper, if you have any spills on there or anything that seems to be raised up above the surface, we're going to either sand it off or we use a little bit of scraping to get that off. Okay, we've got a lot of that paint lifted up now. It's just dust. We're going to use a little 600 grade sandpaper to lightly sand all the surfaces just to get them a little smoother. And that'll also make the paint stick better. So we'll sand it a little bit, and then we'll also do a little cleaning after to get all the dust off. So we've got it, a lot of the paint and stuff off and lightly sanded. Now we're going to clean it up. We're just going to use use Windex or any kind of cleaner, some paper towels. We'll clean the console, we'll clean all the parts. And then stuff that's a little bit harder to get off, we'll use some rubbing compound. So you may be doing this because you're going to resell your old dryer, or you maybe just want to spruce up your garage a little bit and make it look new. Here's a dryer that was pretty beat up that we recently did, kind of rusted, left out in the rain, and it looks really good. So it could be a compliment to your garage by just doing this little work to basically just get the top panel looking better. So I've got a bunch of the Windex or cleanser on the paper towel or rag, and I'm not going to shoot it onto the console because I kind of worry that I don't want to get the timer wet, or in this case just the push button start wet. So I'll put this on and then see if I can get some of this dirt to come off. And yeah, that stuff is coming off, which is good. And I will just clean this whole console and then we'll show you guys. Console looks a little better. I'd like to get this knob off so I can clean it better. So I'm going to grab it and pull the whole knob toward me. And it's going to be on there pretty tight. Kind of wiggle it off. And I'm just going to get in here and clean around this rim. Get all this lint out and then put it back. I'll clean up the knob a little bit better too. Use the same principle of pulling on this smaller knob. Just pull it towards you. We can clean this up too. Just gonna let the cleaner soak on that rubber for a little bit, and then I'll wipe it off. So that's already looking a lot better. Okay, I'm pretty happy now with the console. It's fairly clean, looks newish. These side panels, we may end up painting these with the enamel white because they're, PVC plastic and they kind of get yellowish over the years, so we might want to renew those. Got a little crack down here. I'll try to glue that. It's from over tightening that Phillips head screw, and probably repaint these. So it's already looking a lot better, a lot cleaner. Got the top panel cleaner, but we're gonna prime it because it's missing some paint. We'll prime it and then we'll remove the upper panel, prime it, and then paint it with some white enamel. We'll probably paint these plastic parts too, the side pieces and this piece. And we got some of the dirt off the side, but now there's some stubborn stuff. We're gonna use a little bit of rubbing compound. And the one I like to use, quite many types, but this one's pretty good. It's the Mother's Mag in aluminum polish. All right, I got some of that on my rag. I'm gonna try this area first up. Looks like it's just got some abrasion, maybe even some rust. So I'll put that on pretty liberally. We'll just rub it. And this will take off some stubborn dirt and can get rid of rust if you have just a little bit. Kind of evens things out. It has a mild abrasive in it, and it's a good way to get rid of some of these unsightly parts. This was against a washing machine before and probably rubbed up against it, probably rubbed off some of the paint, but it'll look a little bit better after we use the rubbing compound. We might even paint it too. You see we have probably the same thing going on here. But sometimes it's just some dirt, so the rubbing compound is pretty aggressive and it'll get it off faster than most cleansers. I'll show you guys in a couple minutes. Okay, so I'd like to get this top panel off so I can paint it separate from the dryer. So I'll take out a couple of Phillips head screws, one here and one here. I got it away from the wall a little bit so I can tilt it back. Let's do that. Okay, we got those screws out. I'm gonna tilt back the console. We're gonna get off this side piece here. Okay, we've got the console flipped over. We're gonna remove a couple of 1/4-inch screws from the back. That's holding on that plastic piece. One. Two. I think it'll come off now. Let's see. Still might be connected. Oh, there's one more right inside there. We'll remove that screw too. Okay, we got those two screws out of there. Got the two out of the back. Kind of wiggle this thing off. And we are going to repair that little plastic piece that broke off. We'll just glue it. Okay, we're going to remove this one ground screw here, and I think we should be able to get the top panel off. Okay. Put that back just so I don't lose it. And that was holding in these two ground wires. I think we can almost ready to slip this off. I think we have to remove these two Phillips head screws. That one. That one. So we're pretty much ready to take off the panel, but we have to remove this wire bundle where it connects to the timer. We'll have to take off those connections so we can feed them through this hole. So we're going to take a picture of where all these go. We'll remove that little ground screw there. We'll take a picture of these guys so we remember how they go back. We'll pull them all off. Pull off these two. And then we can feed those wires through there and then take off the top panel. So got all those wires disconnected. We're going to push them down into the cavity there. Put them back later after we paint it. console out of here. And we'll go ahead and pop off this top panel. Okay, now we're going to use our paint scraper to release these clips. There's one here, push in. There's one here, it's about 2 inches in from the outside. Release the clip, and then we should be able to lift up the top. There's that clip. Lift it up. You can see it has these little guys on the back. Allows you to hinge up. And what we can do is just kind of lift up. We can kind of wiggle this off. We'll go off the other one. Yeah. And we'll just pull this off. So we can see the underside part's looking clean and shiny. That's how we want the top to look too. We'll spray a little bit on the edges here to cover up this rust. Okay, we're going to fix this little piece that broke off, and we have some epoxy. Just going to mix it together, and we'll apply that to it and let it sit overnight, and then we'll paint it tomorrow. All right, we got the epoxy on the area that cracked, and we have it put on the other piece also. We're just letting it get tacky, and we're gonna put them together, hold them for about 30 seconds, and then let it dry overnight. So here's the cabinet. Now we got rid of a lot of the smudges and did a little bit of repainting. And here's the front. Had a lot of wear in this area, so we repainted that. And then we repainted the side, and we got rid of some of the rust that was on the perimeter. So looking pretty good. The back panel off, and we can see a lot of lint in there. So we're going to just use a vacuum and a brush to get rid of most of that. Clean it up. So it's cleaned up pretty good in there. It's just using a brush and vacuum. So we will put the back panel back on, and we'll take off the front panel and do a little cleaning too. We got it pretty cleaned up. Back areas, panels taken off, that's all been cleaned. Got the case looking good. We're gonna get into, take off the front panel so we can replace the belt, do some other cleaning. So you gotta pull this apart. You may wanna put like a little flathead screwdriver in there to pull that apart. I'm going to pull out these two screws. On this side. Now you can grab this and lift it up. You gotta come up about maybe an inch. Disengage it. Go. Okay, we're going to set this aside. All right. We're going to undo the belt, get the drum out of there. So I'm just going to push the drum back a little bit, and I'm going to move this thing called the idler wheel this way, and then I can get the pressure off the belt. I'm sorry, this way, and get the pressure off the belt, get the belt off the motor pulley. Now I can lift the drum out of there. Okay. Now we're going to get in, just clean up all this lint, and then do a couple of part replacements. Alright, we're just going to get rid of some of this dust. So, an old paintbrush worked pretty good. We'll also use the vacuum too. And we're going to be replacing these wheels. This one's still pretty good, but this one is just not really connected to the bearing anymore. We'll be replacing these primary, secondary gas coils and the igniter while we have it open. And we'll be getting some parts lubricated. We'll use some electrical cleaner on the motor. And this will be a really good dryer again. This already was working well. It's getting a little noisy though due to that bad wheel, but good function. And just want to get this really tuned up well. So once I loosen up all this lint, then I'll use the vacuum to get rid of any pieces that are remaining. We got it pretty clean in here. We're going to replace this one. Let's take out this little screw right here, the bracket. Okay, and we're going to get this guy off. I'm just kind of wiggling it toward me. There we go. Okay, now we'll just pry off this little guy and we can get this off. That off. Pull that off. Get the bearing off. And we're just going to clean that up a little bit. See if the new one is the right size. I think so. Yeah, that'll fit good. Okay. Alright, put this new one on. Put that in place. That back on. Push this back on. Screw back in. That's good. Let's do this one too. Since we're already here. It's going to be the same idea. Let's get this little guy off. So I'm going to use my pliers and just pull on this little metal piece. Take out the old one. New one on. Looks good. Alright. And I'm going to put on our pin. This one back on. Go. Okay, I'm going to put this little piece back on. Got it. Let's do this one. Take off this modular connector. Take off this one. You just have to take out these two Phillips head screws. Okay, here's the part number 53039317775. Open these up. I'm going to lift off this bracket. I'm going to replace this one. So it has a little plastic tab that will point up. So we're going to take off the old one, put on the new one. We're going to take off this one that has the 2 tab on the top. Take it off, put on the new one. Put the bracket back. We're going to kind of pivot these until those plastic pins go into the bracket. We'll put the 2 Phillips head screws back in. And these coils will open up the gas valve and give you a nice strong flame. But as they get worn out, your dryer won't heat as well. And this is a quick way to get it heating again. Put these modular connectors back on. Clicks in. It's all the way on. Got nice wheels now. Let's go ahead and replace this igniter. This igniter was working, but it's probably getting older. So we'll disconnect this one. Just you can pull that apart by hand. We're going to take out this screw holding on the igniter. So I got some contact cleaner, CRC contact cleaner. I'm going to spray it in to the motor. We got a DeWalt angle tool to get into that screw there, make it a little bit easier. Go. Here's our old igniter. Let's go and put a new one in. That one still looks pretty good, but go ahead and exchange it with this one, brand new. Be careful you don't touch that metal part. They're pretty fragile. If you get oil on them, it can cause some trouble of breaking early, just kind of like a halogen bulb. So I slipped the old one up, get it out, pop the new one in there. Clean off these pieces. We'll slide it down in there, tighten that up. Go. Get that in position. We'll put that screw back in. You can tell when you look at these 2 holes that it was the top one, because the top one has some little scratches from when this one and before. There's a little indexing point, helps you fit it in correctly. Get it in place. Tighten that up. Okay, let's tighten that with that angle tool. Go. Okay, we're going to hook together these 2 for bringing power to the igniter. That nice and tight. And we are ready to put it back together. We replaced the gas coils. We cleaned up the motor with some electrical cleaner. A little bit of lint in there. Cleaned up the inside. We replaced the igniter. We replaced these support rollers. And now we'll go ahead and put the drum back in. We have a new belt for it too. Get our idler wheel in position. That. Feed that in, get it up on the wheels. Alright, let's get this felt piece down in there. Almost got it. There we go, that's a nice fit. Okay. Put the belt on. Put a brand new belt. So you want to have it the rubber side down, cloth side up. On some of the old Maytags, it's opposite, but most belts are like that, cloth side up. Get that over the drum. And there's usually a line where the belt used to be, helps you guide it. So get the belt in the right place. And then we'll go and feed it on. To do that, I'm gonna get the belt underneath this either wheel stays in place for me. There we go. Get the belt underneath this either wheel. I'm going to bring this loop through, and then I will move the either wheel toward my right, get this over the motor pulley, and then just want to make sure it stays on as I do a turn. Turning this lefty-loosey. I just want to get one full turn. And I'm kind of lifting it up, supporting it as I do the turn. Okay, that's good. So now I'm going to get the front panel to drop down onto this hook and this hook to hold the bottom, and then I'll put the screws in to hold the top. So I'm still holding it up. Grab the front panel. Let me clean that front panel before I put it back in. Those are the holes that I have to get to go onto those hooks. So we're going to get that position. We're going to get the front bearing to ride here on the bearing of the felt bearing on the front panel. Get this lined up. I'm going to lift a little bit. We're going to engage those hooks. Here's one. Try and get the other one here. There's two. Okay, now I'll get the little screws in here. Tighten that one. That one. disconnect these guys. All right, let's get the top panel, put it back. All right, so we're gonna drop this back down on these little hinges. Feed these the wiring harness up through this one. Close this one. Go. And we're going to hinge this down. If it clips. Add these 2 Phillips head screws. Okay, add the second one. Okay, close that. Alright, we're going to do the console now. We're going to do these 2 ground screws. Put a little screw in there and get it nice and tight. Okay, we'll put on the console. You're going to put this piece back in. Gotta line everything up. Set it like this, I think. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's good. Put the screws in. So these are 1/4 inch screws. One of them is that screw. Okay. Put the ones on the back. That one on. We put these wires back on. You can see it says white, orange, violet, red. So it'll be pretty easy. So we're going to go white, orange. There's the white one. There's the orange. Smaller one too. Okay, and then violet is here. Got it. Just go there, and it kind of gives you reference. It's 3 at once. Got it. Okay, this one goes over here. And you can do this one either way, doesn't matter, no polarity. Got it. Okay. And then this green one goes here for ground for the console. add those screws. Hold it on. One in. Okay, a couple more here on the back. So I think this dryer is about 25 years old. It's just doing great. Still going good, but now that it's rebuilt, could easily get another 10 years. Okay, looking good. So we'll put the console back in position. Remember to add the tech sheet back in there. Okay, and these little legs, feet go in here. There's the wire in there. We'll put the Phillips head screws back in there. And be careful not to over torque these because it can crack the old plastic. Come in kind of light. Go. And over here. So we're all done with the renovation. We try to show you the before pictures too. Just cleaned everything up, painted it, and then cleaned all the lint out of the cabinet, cleaned the motor, replaced a couple of support rollers, replaced the primary secondary gas coils, replaced the igniter, replaced the belt. So essentially it's rebuilt, tested all the components, cleaned all the area in the back, and this dryer is ready to rock and roll. All right, we're going to see if it sounds good and if the igniter's working. We got it hooked up to power. Starting it up. Sounds pretty smooth. Pop off this little inspection piece here. Take a look in there. See if we see any kind of glow. Oh yeah, there's the igniter. All right, working good. And please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance, and also click the little bell notification button so we can send you weekly videos on all the different ways of fixing appliances around your home and saving you lots of money. So thanks again for watching, and please also press the like button for our video if this was helpful to you. Feel free to contact me at the email listed below, which is scottthefixitguy@yahoo.com, with any of your questions.